Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am making a card that to me, I believe is a card maker rite of passage. Yes, I, Cathy Zielske, relatively new card maker, I am making a shaker card today. This card is completely inspired by products from Pretty Pink Posh, so let's do it. Now I'm starting out today with a stencil that I saw Nicole Spohr, an awesome card maker, and I will link to the video that inspired this background. But I saw this stencil, I had been wanting it for a long time. It was on back order, and when I finally got my hot little hands on it, I knew I'm gonna make the rainbow background. So I'm using a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock, the 80 pound, and I'm taping everything down because I don't like to run the risk of my stencil sliding and then swear words, you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to create a Roy G. Biv rainbow of rays. Now here's the thing, I am not the world's most accomplished ink blender. And what's great about a stencil is it really does kind of give you that buffer, so you can't really screw up that badly, unless of course your stencil goes flying and then the swear words, yeah. So what I wanted though was just a rainbow of relatively rich saturated color. This is not about making it super light. I wanted these rays to show up. So I just worked the rainbow, the Roy G. Biv. I always have to say it to myself too, like, is orange, wait, Roy, yeah, anyway. Working my way around with this rainbow of color. And once I had all of the colors in place, I went back a little off camera and just kind of filled in a few areas. But now I can take the stencil off and you can see, oh, look at that. But I didn't want to keep it this stark, so I went back in with each of the colors again. And here is where I did have to keep it a little lighter. And I think I got a little dark in some places, but honestly, for the purpose of this card, the idea is just get rid of the white so it's not stark and lightly blend to the best of my ability. So I went ahead and went around with all the colors, got to the very last one. And the thing is, it doesn't really matter what it looks like in the center, because we're cutting that out. So going in the center, no problem. And all my ink is on. Now I took my Distress sprayer and I just did that half cock, kind of pull it back halfway to get the big globules of water on there, because I just wanted to have a smattering, if you will. Took the paper towel down, rubbed that over, and when I reveal, you get that great distress effect. So I set that aside to dry. While that was drying, I got this Pretty Pink Posh, the Smile Shaker. It's so cute, you guys, the scallop and the stitching, and that's kind of that's the inspiration for the shaker card. And once it's out, so cute. Love the scallops and the connected script. It's just really, really cute. Now, once this panel was dry, I took my small stitched rectangle stackables and I went ahead and cut out a panel. I love my stitched stackables, both large and small. I use them all the time for card making, and that looked pretty good. So what I needed to do was cut out a center for my shaker window, and I've got this great Hero Arts nesting circle dies. They're pretty much, you're going to find a size for everything you need. So I carefully placed it in the center, taped it down, and then I had my window cut out. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was add a little more excitement. And yes, people, shimmer mist. I never knew I liked glitter. In fact, I would go as far to say I still don't like glitter because, in college, I was goth. But here in the card world, this stuff is amazing. So I covered the whole thing off camera, just spritzed it on. Beautiful. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and cut my card base. Now, I just got this large tonic trimmer. You can't even see it. It's so big. But guillotine trimmers are new for me. I was always just an X-Acto knife and metal ruler girl. I love this trimmer because it cuts so straight. Next up, while the shimmer mist is drying still, I'm going to use my Score Buddy to score this at 5.5 inches. So my finished card size is 4.5 by 4.25. And again, I love my Teflon bone folder from Simon Says Stamp because it just doesn't hurt your paper. It's just fantastic. Now, here's another thing. So I'm new at card making, and I have some of my readers of my blog are like, Cathy, how do you get a stitched card background as your base? Do you run the whole card through the Big Shot? No. You just make a single layer of the same white. And again, this is the Neenah Solar White cardstock, which I'm using pretty much all exclusively now. But you cut it out and get that stitched effect, and then you glue it on to that panel, right? So then your card gets kind of thick, but it's cool because it makes your card more substantial. And that's good. And I use my Misty tool to line up my panels because otherwise you would watch me, like, it's like watching paint dry if I'm just trying to line something up on my own. So I use the Misty to press against each, the left side and the bottom, and then really quickly I have a lined up panel that is glued onto the card base. But now let's talk about my sequins. I got myself a sequin storage box. I have seen this online, and I thought initially, oh, I'll never need one of those. Yeah, famous last words. But when I got all these beautiful things, I have some neat and tangled and pretty pink Posh stuff. I knew I had to take it to the next level. So I went conservative and just got the sparkling clear mix. I thought I'm not gonna go too crazy. I think this will work really, really nicely. But I just laughed that initially I thought, yeah, I'd never need one of these storage containers. And now, can you see the sparkle? Because it's sparkling. Okay. Time to add the window. Now, I looked some things up, people. I wasn't really sure how to do this, so I cut a piece of acetate. I glued it onto the back with just some regular, dot adhesive. And yeah, there's the window. So part one's working. Next, gonna glue on the actual shaker die cut thing. So this is also for me like watching paint dry. I am so slow with the multi-matte medium, so I'm not gonna make you sit through that, but just know I put a globule all around and then just moved it into place. Again, getting it right there and pressed it down. I did put a little adhesive on the letters too, and they did smear a little, so I ended up kind of going in and wiping it out a little, but if you're quick, it won't stick. I should trademark that. Next up is building that shaker depth box, whatever you will. And this, I literally don't know if I was doing it right. I don't know if I was doing it right, but here's the beautiful thing about card making, much like scrapbooking or any other crafty thing. There are so many ways you can do things. And I feel like the end result gave me what I wanted, but I did a double layer of the foam adhesive. And then I thought, wait a minute, how are you supposed to keep the shaker stuff in? Like I can't just flip the card. I made a background to adhere to the back of the sticky stuff. Now I did see this in a Christina Werner video. You put a little powder in that anti-static so that your sparkly stuff will actually move around. And I don't think I got too much powder in there, but I thought, yeah, you don't want to make it just look like a powder shaker. And then I just dumped it in. And I wasn't sure, like, do you measure this? Do you count them out? You just go on pure gut instinct. So that's what I did, pure gut instinct. That, my friends, is the science. Yeah. So here's the other thing that I'm so slow at. Getting the adhesive off the back. I've had one of these pen blades for a long time, and I saw Jennifer McGuire do this, and I do it, but it's slow. And what ended up happening was I started peeling some of the backs off, and the double layer came off the layer underneath because I didn't take the tape off the first layer. Does that make sense? So I did go back in before I adhered my back to this card piece, and I made sure that the top and bottom, that I took the sticky off both, just to hold it in place, if that makes sense. So again, I'm learning. But look at that. It did it. It shakes. It makes a noise. It just, I seriously am geeking out over how cute this is. Now, once that shaker component was done, I took my scrapbook adhesive, because I think this is a nice, really sturdy adhesive, and lined it up. And again, it takes me much longer to do this than you were seeing, because I stare at it for like 2 minutes without moving. But that, my friends, is the shaker. How fun is that? Again, having never done this, I can see I probably have a little to learn. But one thing I did forget was I forgot the little eye on the die cut. So I actually threw it away. I don't know what happened to it. So I cut out another one out of a piece of scrap paper. And I believe this is called a tilde. Does that sound right? I think it's a tilde, the dot on the eye. So I decided just to put it on with some glossy accents. And I always have to get my glossy accents flowing, because I've had a few accidents with glossy accents. Say that 6 times fast. But I got a little jewel picker from Marva Yukaida. This is also new. And picked it up because it was really tiny. Took my glossy accents, put a globule down, and I realized after I had placed it, like I was nowhere near lined up where that little tilde should have been. But I ended up moving it over because I'm like, wait a minute, the letter doesn't go that way. That's where my Tim Holtz pokey tool came in. And just pushed it into place. Glossy accents dried clear. And people, this card is done. Again, I feel like I've taken another step up the rung of the ladder of the card maker. It's a pretty good feeling. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe to my channel and check out more videos in the center. To see more from me, visit my website today. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.